I was just about to act on how I was feeling, and I was not feeling like doing a live today. But I decided to switch it up because our feelings cause us to take action, and our action gives results. Now, I know I promised myself to do a live today, and so I knew that I couldn't lean into those feelings because it wouldn't give me the results that I would have loved to have, which is to do a live and share something with you today. My name is Kadisha, and I help women to transform their knowledge, experience, and their skills into 6- and 7-figure success. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 steps that you can take to achieve results mastery. Now, it may sound easy. It may be something that you already know, but the fact of the matter is not everybody is doing it. And why? Because their life is happening. There's things that's constantly happening that's causing you to choose not to take action. And as a result, you don't get the results that you would love. So you need to really sit down and think about what you would love. What is it that you would love? What does that look? If you could just wave a magic wand, what would your life be like? And see, once you've established what that would look like for you, you need to then design it. Design your life. Start painting the picture on paper. Get it out of your head. Paint the picture of what your life would look like and what you would love to have in your life. Forget any ideas of what you couldn't have. In this moment, I want you to take time and to not let doubt, not allow fear, not allow any self-limiting belief to be part of this. And as soon as you start thinking about the life you'd love to have or something that you'd like to have or buy for yourself, there are so many, like immediately after that thought, you will get so many reasons why you can't have it. It could be that, oh, nobody in my family has ever done this before. It could be like, oh, it's way too expensive. There's no way I could afford that. Or it could be something like one of the things I hear in property, I couldn't start a property investment because you have to be rich or you have to have lots of money to do that. So the moment you start thinking about your dream life and thinking about your dream life, what you would love to have, the way you'd like to live, the business you'd like to have, the career you'd like to have, all the things where you'd love to go on holiday, immediately after that, there are thoughts that are going to pop up to tell you that you can't have this. But today, I am going to challenge you or just ask you to put those thoughts aside, acknowledge them and put them to the side, because this exercise requires you to tap into what you would truly love without thinking about the reasons why you can't have it or the blockers that may be in your way. So that's step number 1. You're designing the life that you would love for yourself. And it is an amazing experience if you take the time to do it. And the next thing that you need to learn to do in order to master your results is really good at deciding what you would love and then making a decision for it. So an example of this is when we decided to get into property back in 2021, seems quite a way now, we made a decision. Prior to going into property investment, my dream was to just own my home, because growing up, we didn't have our own home. Have our own home as in own our own home. So my big dream was to buy my property, a home that I could call my own, that my family would be safe in, that I do what I want with, I could paint and I could maintain it. Because when I was growing up, the property or the rental properties that I saw around us or that we lived in, my mom had to work really, really hard to maintain that property and to bring it and make it into a home. It wasn't a great property. However, that was the situation. And so, as you know, our longing and discontent often comes from things that we'd never had or pain that we feel. That's how your longing and discontent will reveal itself. Now, when I talk about longing, it's the thing that you would love to have. And the discontent are the things that you're no longer happy with, right? So I was longing to own my own home. That was a dream that I have. And the discontent that I had was living in a rented accommodation. To this day, I hate paying rent or anyone rent. I hate it because I remember growing up how that was. And so back in 2021, we had been talking about property investment prior to that, but we'd been so busy with so many other things. And in a way, I think the pandemic and the things that were happening kind of slowed things down and forced us to say, this is the moment to do this. Even though in some people's mind, that probably was not the moment. In our mind, that was the moment. We could find a trusted partner with the expertise that we needed to support us to get the ball rolling without everything else happening. And so we signed up and got involved on a property course. It was an introduction property course, and we made a decision, this is what we're going to do. And to be honest, when we did this was more about information, because like I told you, my dream was just to own a home. I can totally relate. We even got evicted. Oh my God, tell me about it, right? Not a great experience to have. And again, that will be something that will push you to want to achieve more, to be more, and to do more for yourself and your family. So thank you for sharing that. And so, yeah, we decided to do this. But this is the type of buyers that we were. We were not doing the course to be convinced to go into property. We knew property was a sure deal when done properly. We were looking at the long game. We did not know about all the cash, how you could cash flow property instantly, how you could make that work for you on a daily basis, even a yearly basis, turn your property portfolio into £1 million property portfolio. We had no idea about that. We just wanted to be in a place where we would get the information, get the knowledge to start our property portfolio. And we had an idea of how we were going to do it. But by doing the course, my God, we got so much information, and we then realized that, oh my God, there's so many options available to us. And we had to, again, make a decision on the options that we were going to go for. So we were not the type of buyers that needed to be convinced to buy property. We knew that this was going to be a good thing. So investing in ourselves into a property consultancy to help us to get the results faster and work with experts was a no-brainer for us. And so we went ahead and did that. And oh my God, it's been an amazing experience. We're still learning, we're still growing, we're still, checking out what strategy to date. We've only really capitalized, well, I say only. The thing with property and how it works is with the information that you have, whenever you're having a conversation, you always have the knowledge to apply and decide whether that's for you. So, I was sharing with somebody the other day that during one of the sale, I was selling my own property to my business, and the solicitor that I was working with didn't have the knowledge I had. And so in order to save me money, I put something on the table. I put an option on the table on how she should process the transaction, which meant I didn't have to transfer money from my bank account and then pay additional stamp duty. So I saved myself thousands of pounds just because I was aware of a way that she could do the transaction so that would save us money. And that is how it is with property. Going into it, getting the information, you may go in and thinking, oh, I want to be a buy-to-let property investor. And a buy-to-let property investor is somebody who buys a property and you let it. it says what it says on it is what it says on the tin. You let it to a family or a person, whoever, and that's it. You just collect your rent and they do their thing. So that's, you can go into that. But then you can learn so much more. You can learn how to, construct a deal where it's a lease option. You can learn how to do rent to rent, which is you rent a property from somebody else and then you have the option to rent it out to make money. There's so many options that so many things you can learn. And so by having that information to hand, you're able to have conversations that can grow your investment portfolio so quickly than the standard average person that's not equipped with that amount of information, and the networks that you have. So you can come into a deal that you have no idea and you can quickly take it to one of your coaches and say, this is what's come up. How do you think I should package this? All the things. So, when you approach things and you approach going into getting coaches or getting help and support to grow whatever business you're growing, there's a bigger picture. There is a bigger return on investment, the wealth of information, the awareness, the people and experts that you have, that the money you pay really, it's just not enough, to be honest, for what you get back from it. And that's been my experience. So having the knowledge is so important. And I'm having a property investment masterclass on the 2nd of November. And if you're interested and you want to learn more, feel free to go and sign up and join us. I think it's at dreambuilder.ignitingdreams.co.uk/masterclass. I hope I got that correct. And here I'll be teaching attendees on my journey into property. My journey into property started with buying my own property. I hated renting. And then to make money, because I had a 3-bedroom and it was only myself and my daughter, to make money, I used to let one of my rooms to students that came Europe and America, actually. So every summer, students who are going into transition into sixth form before they go into university. So they're trying to decide whether they want to study in the UK or whether they want to study at home. They would come to the UK. And so I would have these students for the entire summer and get paid for the room. So, I've had a little bit of a dabble into property without knowing it, because it wasn't a plan. It was just a way of making extra money as a single mom, navigating so many different complexities, during those years. And no regrets. It helped me, money in the pocket. It paid for itself. So great. All the students wanted was a family home, family environment that they could feel at home while they were away from their mom and dad. So that was great. And then during my time when after bankruptcy and divorce, back in those days, one of the first jobs that I did was, and so what I did was I was helping tenants who live in the UK in what we call council properties. So in the UK, the government builds a certain number of properties and they're owned by the council. The council is the ward which you live in, and they own these properties and look after them, and they rent them for less than the going market rental value to tenants. However, the tenants have the opportunity to buy these properties, and so they would get massive discounts. And so I would go around and help tenants and bring awareness to help them, because they just weren't interested, weren't aware, and didn't know what to do. So again, when I look back on my experience, that really was a way into property as well. So I was educating people on how to buy their property. And I was like, how could you not buy your property? You're getting it for like 50% less than market value. Somebody could pay £20,000 for a 3-bedroom property. Like, really? Why wouldn't you grab it? And so that was something that I did. Didn't know it was setting me up for my own property journey, but there you go. And so as I grew and got better and we decided to have this property, to buy a property, we bought our first property. To track back a little bit, I lost some money before that. So never buy a property after having a major operation. So I'd looked at a property on my own without the eyes of my husband and decided I was going to go and buy this property. This particular agent, they wanted a non-refundable deposit of £6,000. And I paid the non-refundable deposit. When the survey was done, there was a massive crack in the wall, and that meant that the property could not be mortgaged, or I would have to pay before even owning the property to get that done. So I decided to cut my losses, lose the £6,000, and make sure that I got on this course and did and did this property training ever before I step out about buying property again. Now, that was an oversight. I should have brought a builder with me. I should have brought my husband, who had more experience with me as well, and they probably would have seen the crack in the wall. I saw the crack, but I underestimated the crack, and I didn't know what that could cost. And obviously it cost me £6,000. So again, that also propelled me to go and get some education around this. It was a simple crack. It looked like it. I would never also put down a deposit when I'm buying a property, a non-refundable deposit long before anything. I would never do that. So this was all education. It was painful, but something I learned. And whilst doing the course, doing the training, I learned that stay away from anything like that. It may look really good. If it looks too good to be true, stay away from it. And so, yeah, we've gone through designing the life that you want and making decisions. It's really important for you to be making decisions about your life, because every single day, the time's running out. You know, a year from now, if you're delaying making decisions, a year from now, you're in the same place. And, you know, what is that costing you? What is that costing you, staying in the same place because you are afraid to make decision? And remember, even indecisions are decision. You're deciding to stay stuck. You're deciding to stay in the unknown because of fears. Today, I was mentioning to a friend of mine something that I was listening to. The brain is designed to keep you safe. So don't rely on your brain to say, hey, come on, go and do this. No, it's designed to keep you safe. So anything that you do that is different from the norm, that will take you out of your comfort zone, you're not going to be encouraged by your brain to go ahead and do it. No, you have to take action. And eventually, the brain will catch up and realize that this is the new status quo. So in order for you to master your results, you need to decide what it is you want. Same as designing your life. Think about the life you'd want and design it. And then make a decision. What is the next step? What is the step that I need to take right now that's going to move me forward in the direction of the design that I've laid down that I want for my life? You know, I've always been really good at making decisions for my life, and I'm sure you are too. If you are a committed go-getter woman who wants to change your life, I'm sure that you are going to make decisions for yourself. You're going to be aggressive about those decisions because you understand that an opportunity now that you don't decide on may not be there tomorrow. And it's not about fear of losing out. It's about being able to recognize opportunities and taking the opportunity so that you are in there. You are like early bird catches the worms. If you're late, you're not going to get it, or you're going to get what's left. And who wants that? So I know sometimes life will throw things at you. I've had situations where because life is happening, you tend to want to delay a decision. You tend to want to say, you know, and hang on a minute, I'm just going to do this later. But the decisions that are crucial to your life, I would encourage you to get really good at making quick decisions, because those will change your life. And the things that you're most fearful of are the things that you really need to make the decisions and get them going. And then the next thing that you want to be doing is taking action. You've decided. Decision's not going to get you anywhere. You have to take action. Every single day you get up, you have to take action, because if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter how early you get up. It doesn't matter how much meditation you do. It doesn't matter how much affirmation and motivation and networking and groups that you go to. You have to take action into the direction of your dreams if you're going to achieve what you would love to achieve. And then the other thing is, you got to remember that the only person that knows what you would love to achieve is you. The only person. And the amazing thing is, you get to see that because your imagination will show you what it is that you've conjured up, right? You get to see it before everybody else. And so take action in order to achieve your dreams. Yes, you're going to make some mistakes. Yes, you're not going to have clarity on everything, but the clarity is in the action. So many things that I've done. I think I was sharing on my story after going through 2007, between 2007 and 9. I graduated from university 2010. That's after going through bankruptcy, losing a lot, going through, really bad ill health and trying to manage it all as a single mom at the time. And then I got out of university, did a lot of temporary jobs, meaning you don't have a contract. And the reason during that time, I was temping as I'm a temp staff. So I was going through agencies, working in different places. And then I finally landed a job and it was £39,000 a year. Now, if you were listening and you heard that I was bankrupt and you heard that I was in debt and I got a divorce and I was struggling for money, £39,000 a year sounds amazing. And yes, it did, because I finally got off the temping agency, not knowing whether I was going to work a week, this or not. I finally got off that bus. So I was happy. But I soon realized that that wasn't where I was going to stay, because the life that I imagined for myself, £39,000 a year, was not going to pay for it. Not at all. And we need to be honest with that. So I could have decided, because of fear of where I'm coming from, I could have decided to stay in that position and be grateful for it so much that I'm so afraid to move. But whilst I was doing that job, I decided this is not going to be for me, be me long term. Because I'm still struggling to pay the bills. I may have to take my daughter out of her school because I'm struggling to pay for that, right? And so I made a decision, and then I took action. I decided that was not going to be me for long term. And then I started doing some research to understand, how can I increase my income? How can I turn this around? And within a year, I was able to turn that 39K into 120K. 39K into 120K. Total difference. Turning that 39K into 120K meant that when my husband was in hospital for a major surgery, I could be at his bedside. It meant that I could work from home. It meant that I had the flexibility to be at my daughter's school when she had different activities on, and I didn't have to report into anybody and ask permission to be with my family. It meant that I could invest more into personal development to get me further. It meant that I could pay my bills and not be worried all the time, how the hell am I going to cover the bill? And so that is why I like to teach women how they can do this. It didn't take any special skills. It just took knowledge and positioning myself to change my life. And so you can do that too. But it required me to design. I already knew the type of life I wanted for myself. So that's why I was able to say 39,000 was not going to do it. I already imagined, design, and knew the life that I wanted for myself. And the brave thing is, knowing where I came from, knowing how I grew up, and whatever 13 somebody would be saying, and I know even my family would have said, you are crazy for giving up a permanent role of 39,000 a year, guaranteed as long as you show up, guaranteed that, and that's 39,000 before tax. So I wasn't taking home 39,000. So even more dire, right? So for somebody that may be absolutely amazing, but because I'd already designed the life that I wanted for myself in my head, it wasn't even as big as my life now. But I already imagined the life I wanted for myself. I knew straight away from numbers on the paper, instinctively, that this was not it. And so I was able to then make a decision on my next step and take action. Was it easy? No, because I was leaving security for something that didn't seem to have much security, because that depended on me. I wasn't going to get any sick pay if I was sick. I wasn't going to get paid for holidays. I wasn't going to get any vouchers for childcare. I wasn't going to get any of that. But I was always one that was going to take a chance on me, because that always pays off. It always pays off when you take a chance on yourself, when you believe in you so much. And you know, just like God said in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. And you can lean into that. And you take the skills and the knowledge and the experience that you've acquired all this time, and you use it to change your life. I think that's the most amazing thing that you can do, right? So if you want to master the results that you're having, if you want to stop allowing feelings to determine how you show up, when you show up, if you show up, if you want to have complete autonomy over your life, if you want to be able to choose how much time you spend with your family, when you spend time with your family, where you live, how you live, where you go on holiday, how much you give to charity, how much hours do you work, if you want to be able to do that, learn to master your results. And the way to master your results, 3 simple steps. Start designing the life you want. Start making decisions quickly and taking action so that you can have the life you love. There's going to be some stumbling blocks. There are going to be some lessons that you learned that you didn't know. But I promise you, they will be well worth it. Because I don't want to be one to be living a life of what if, maybe if I'd done that. I don't want a long list of regrets. I want to live a bold and beautiful life, one that's filled with abundance, because I am deserving, and I know that you are also deserving. So if there's anything that you've learned from that today, remember, design your life. Take time to design the life you'd like for yourself. Decide for the life that you'd like for yourself and take action to get it. Because we live in a world of infinite abundance. And if anybody tells you anything else, that's a lie. We are created to create. And when you create and you make money, it's a demonstration of how well you have used your gifts, your skills, your experiences that you've been blessed with. If you've got any questions, comments, do leave them in the chat. But for now, have a great day. Take care. Bye.